Why are you dressed up like, what's the guy from Money Heist, Salim?
Professor.
Yes. Why are you dressed up like the professor?
First of all, it is a symbol for demonstration, but in an anonymous way. And this is simply because the reason why people go anonymous is because their identity might put them in trouble. And especially when they are demonstrating for the rights of other people. And this is heavily used when it comes to the digital space and people who are demonstrating virtually or digitally to defend the other people's rights. So today what I've worn is just a symbol of what we do most of the time when we have campaigns about cyber crimes and cyber security.
Oh, so when you don the mask and they're gonna call it surupwenye. It's an overall.
Actually generally it's just a regalia. So in Kiswahili I think surupwenye fits the the regalia bit.
So this is what you wear when you're training people on cybersecurity.
When you're training people on cybersecurity, when you're doing campaigns for cybersecurity and cyber crimes generally, when just to bring it out in a symbolic way what we mean.
I like that. It shows a very creative.
Nimefikiri tumefika Spain. Tuko kwa bank huko chini.
Plan B, when plan B fails.
Tunachemsha dhahabu itoke. De la pelle.
Snap out of it, Salim. It's just 20 seconds. Anyway, let's talk about OpenAI. Paul Akwabi is the CEO of Tech Kids Africa. Welcome to the show. Now, OpenAI is to enforce 16% VAT on ChatGPT services. Now, so the company, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, will start charging Kenyan users a 16% value-added tax on subscriptions and services beginning May 1st, 2025. Now, this update, announced, of course, through email, advises users to provide valid Kenya Revenue Authority personal identification numbers, PINs to ensure compliance and proper invoicing. One would say, I think at this point, we are so used to being taxed. Is this part of the digital taxation that the government had planned to enforce?
Thank you so much for that question, and also the concern and just the thought process around that. First of all, we need to be clear that it's not OpenAI charging. It is the government of Kenya that has requested OpenAI to be able to charge the 16%, because in other countries it is not really charged.
Wait. So it is our government.
It is our government
that has requested.
Now, this is what happens, especially, I think I talked about this also before. Every country has an IP address. Every country in the world has an IP address that you operate from. So as much as technology platforms are borderless, but for you to access when you're in Kenya, there is an IP address that shows you're in Kenya. And that's why it's easy even for the DCI to be able to track you, because they are able to know if you're in Kenya. And also this IP address are able to, they usually change as much as there is the larger one that is in Kenya, smaller ones that are also represent different regions. And that's why it's easy to track you up to the where you are actually in specific. Now, within Kenya, now it's the government that has asked OpenAI to ChatGPT to be able to charge everybody operating within the IP address, the Kenyan IP address, because that is the only way they're able to track. And this is simply because for platforms like ChatGPT, the government has systems to also know how many, which platforms we are accessing from the likes of just social medias, Facebook, X, and all that. And they're able to see the frequency, how many people and how we are using it. So the government is looking at it actually as a platform whereby they're able to get money from it because of how many people are using ChatGPT to earn money that they're not able to track.
Okay, now back to how many people are actually using it.
ChatGPT?
Yeah, in Kenya. For the government to also say now, start taxing. How many people do you think are using it?
Okay, I don't have like exact statistics, but I can bet with you more than 5 million Kenyans are using that. More than 5 million Kenyans.
Yes.
And these are Kenyans who are doing also the online jobs, like article writing, because when you're using ChatGPT, you just get now the feedback, then you humanize the work. It becomes easy for you to humanize the work and sell that work. Same too, I think you've seen so many billboards right now, they're using even pictures generated from AI.
Yeah.
And you get that now a whole billboard doesn't now end up paying an influencer. They usually pay more millions to influencers. Right now, they're able to use ChatGPT to generate for free a very beautiful image that they don't pay for, but they end up paying just the banner to be out there. So there's a lot that people are saving from it, and the government is trying to look how they're able to track that. And statistically, they have seen also through KRA and all that, what they're also missing and how they're not able to track, especially even Kenyans that are working for organizations abroad. So they can be able to see the statistics, how many. They can see how, because some of this data, you can always run it also through a different AI platform to show the confidence level that this person used AI, but they just humanized their work. So it's a lot of money that the government feels like they need also some shares in it, so that they're able to also be sustainable or quantify the tax. Yes.
Okay, so for the young people, for those people now who are working online. You've said academic writing.
Sure.
Right? Which who else do you think is using? Is it OpenAI? Who else is using this? There's something I'm getting to. Who else do you think is using it more?
Actually, as much as you're looking for on academic writing, look at the creatives as well.
Okay.
So many creatives, even the spoken word artists and all that, now are using ChatGPT. They just use that to get good rhymes, good ideas. Then they tend now to humanize that particular work generally. So there's a lot of statistics that is being taken through. But again, also, the other way the government also is trying to look at it is, you see, AI has been a battleground that the government has not been able to win when it comes to now fighting with the Gen Zs. And they know very well Gen Zs don't have money. So if they impose such charges, then it will reduce the usage of the battle or the fight. It will reduce. Of course, it might not end because there are also a good number of millennials or Gen Zs that also still might be able to afford. But at least it will be highly controllable. And again, not just about highly controllable. Once they impose charges, even if they'll just impose 5%, leave alone 16%, it will mean that Gona will pay for that particular platform. When Gona pays for that particular platform, what happens is we're able to track Gona even better because he'll pay using M-Pesa. That is how we have been tracked mostly with even DCI. You see, what they usually look into KPLC, because you have to pay your bills. So when you pay your bills, they just track to which number usually pays this bill. Then that number is able now to be tracked through Safaricom or whichever subscriber that you are in. So it's easy now. It will be more easier for them to track you because they have even your contact and how you pay, especially the active line or account that you're using to pay for that. So it is a whole game plan for the government to be able to track all the users that are fighting the government using now the AI platform, since it's a flat battleground that the government is not winning.
Okay. So it's the reason I was asking that, because academic writing, these are people, anybody who's using this, you find that there are people who are also just trying to gain extra source of income. Right? And meaning whatever little I'm trying to get, the government wants a piece of it, which doesn't really make sense. You know, it's like greed. right?
Yeah,
And you've just broken it down. It's more like control. I know if I put this tax, you won't afford it.
Yeah. Now, it is also generally just an irony, because you see, even the CBC that is there, the government has put a lot of technology aspects that teachers have not been capacity built to be able to support. And you get that this is supposed to support the upcoming generation to be able to be to utilize technology or to prepare themselves to the future of work. But at the same time, this other side, the government itself is trying to also, I can say, overcharge the accessibility. Yet still, we are being overtaxed, because already by you getting just the internet bundles or connectivity, you've paid taxes already. For you to get your phone or your laptop, you've paid taxes also for that. And for this information that mostly we are getting also from online or ChatGPT AI platforms, you get that this information is something that also the government has not created enough infrastructure for us to be able even to learn from school. So we are trying just to assist ourselves. Even if you get paid by a foreign organization and that amount is not taxed, you'll definitely go to buy bread, and bread is taxed. You'll always buy clothes, and clothes are taxed. You'll always use this money locally here. So the government is just trying to overtax us so much in so many different platforms. And right now they're coming into AI because they've realized there's a lot of loophole there that they're not touching that money that much. And this is something that we need also most of our politicians who are especially MPs and senators to try and defend us. But the bad thing is, or the biggest challenge is, they also don't know about this.
How do they defend something they don't understand?
Yes, and that is the biggest problem that we are having right now.
Because to them it's something foreign, it's something used to attack them. Does this mean, does this now interfere when we talk about technology and the rising technology and the growth and the the space that we have? Does this hamper that growth? Would you feel like that would hamper that growth?
It will. Actually, it will hamper that growth a lot. Not unless something is done. And it has to be done as early as possible. And this is something that is supposed to be like more of a campaign. And it will cost less, especially right now. I think we saw this historic time, the June 25th, 2024, whereby Gen Zs were able to mobilize each other. People were able to mobilize just through the platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and without paying any mainstream media. And this is exactly how it's supposed to be. You remember even the bill, for the bill to be discussed, we were able even to translate to different mother tongues for people to be able just to internalize and learn. That is the same strategy we need to do, because you get that mostly the government is able to fight us with their wrong interests because they know very well we have a huge population that is not exposed, that doesn't understand also why it's important for some things to also happen. You see, when we talk, when the government start taxing AI, ChatGPT, even people who are in upcountry that don't know if that exists as a platform at all. So to them, they don't feel like it is something that might maybe that might be affecting them in one or the other. So we need just to be able to take some of these campaigns even to our grassroots communities for them to be able to learn, or else this is something that is going to hamper a lot of growth generally, and it will reduce actually the exposure level even for the next generation that is coming.
So there's something that you're doing in schools.
This about robotics and coding curriculum.
Yes.
Na niliona kama mko pale Taita. Implementation is starting May. Nakumbuka zamani tukiwa shule tulikuwa tukiimba mabata madogo dogo. Watu wa Kilifi wataita pia wataconnect. Miriam ndo ha-connect maana alisoma international.
International.
Lakini the rest of us would connect. Sasa hii ya Taita ni kila pahali ama iko selected? counties?
No, okay. Right now it is selected counties. We are only operating in 3 counties.
Maybe start with what the program is about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Now, the program is called Advancing Computing and Literacy Program. So ACLP. Now, this is advancing computing, and majorly we train teachers, and we train the teachers to be able just to do what they're supposed to do. So as I mentioned earlier, CBC has an aspect of coding, and it was there in the science and technology. Then when the government realized that it is a topic that most teachers are also running away from, they did something called rationalization of the curriculum, whereby they're expecting teachers to be able to teach coding and robotics, but through other subjects, including English. This is something so new, because the primary background of a teacher, they don't have that actually as a skill. So what we are doing is we are trying now to equip teachers to be able to know, to understand how that can be done. So an English teacher is able to teach coding through storytelling, whereby learners are able to create animations as they code, and they write stories the same way we used to write insha composition.
Yeah.
So they can be able to write shorter stories using now by coding, and a teacher is able to mark that. This story, the teacher can just insist itumie the rightful adjectives, verbs, nini kila kitu, just the same way. Same with the also mathematics teacher. They're able to teach both vectors and different calculation using still coding. This is something that is happening in UK, it's happening in China and other first world countries. But now you get that the government put a very good idea, though they have not capacity built teachers. So what we did actually as an organization, we looked for a partner from Cambridge University, where all these curriculums usually start from. So the partner assisted us with the curriculum that we were able to customize and contextualize to fit the Kenyan way of doing things. But again, we are a small organization whereby we don't have enough capacity to roll across the country. That is one. And also two, we needed to start from a pilot stage. So from a pilot stage, you see, they usually say charity begins at home. So we started this in Mombasa last year. And we launched with the governor of Mombasa, and actually he's also His Excellency Abdul Somad. He's also the patron of the entire program. We are not charging teachers. It is a community program, a free program, whereby we just look for funding to be able to support the program, and also work closely with Teacher Service Commission and Ministry of Education, though they are still very rigid. They want to keep so much, and but we tend to involve them at the end of the day. So we have been, for sustainability, we are involving also the county governments to come and take over, to be in charge of the entire community within the county government. So for now, we started last year in Mombasa. The statistics in Mombasa informed all of us that we really needed now to scale up. So Mombasa, we started with 80 schools. So right now we went to 100 schools, though we were supposed to do 150 schools, but due to few technicalities, we decided just to stick at 100. And this is because Mombasa has 102 public schools, though we are mixing with few public schools, especially private schools that are not really that private. I think we know there are we have private schools that are community schools.
Yeah.
They're just filling the gap in the community because the next public school that is there so many kilometers away. So such are the private schools that we are working with, not the international ones, Kama, Aga Khans and all that. So Mombasa has been a success story. And we were looking into which other counties we were able to go to. We chose Taita Taveta County, and this is because of also how the devolved government was very receptive, and it becomes the second county that we have signed also a written MOU with in how to support the teachers there, the learners there. And then we're also running this program in Nakuru County.
Okay, Akwabi, before that, so the Advancing Computing and Literacy program, this is meant for training the teachers.
Training teachers, for teachers to cascade to the learners.
So what are you training the teachers? How to coding?
Yes. Now we're training teachers coding, robotics, and generally technology trends, and how to blend that within the different disciplinary subjects.
Okay. Why is this important to a learner?
Okay, this is important to a learner, first of all, to be able to fit into where the future of work is. And you can see even within the government has put ICT as compulsory, especially on the senior school. Apparently mathematics is not compulsory, but ICT is compulsory. But the ICT that is there, we have access to the curriculum, is also very, very simple. As we're talking right now, even earlier in our conversation, we're talking about OpenAI, ChatGPT. You get that those are deep technology. They're not just shallow about the way you can talk about the mouse, the screen, the desktop, and all that. These are deeper because we need to understand how the algorithm of technology works. For us to be able to understand how algorithm of technology works from just even the creative side industry, we need to understand generally how it works from different angles of disciplinary subjects, from English as a subject on the linguistic side, from mathematics side actually, and let's say physics, biology, because of the scientific aspects. And this is going to assist also Kenyans or the learners in Kenya to be able to be innovative enough to be and solution givers when it comes to technology. They're not only going to be users of technology, but also they're going to be creators of solutions that are going to impact and assist the communities to grow.
How was the implementation in Mombasa like?
It was a bit slow. Okay, I'm trying just to, of course, make it a bit lighter, but it was very slow in the beginning.
Why?
And because, first of all, teachers did not understand why we are doing what we are doing. So we really had to do a lot of training, first of all, from just even the leadership. That is from the county directors, from CSOs, those are curriculum support officers, the heads of institutions, all the way to the teacher, before now the teacher goes to the learner. All of them needed to understand in the entire hierarchy, because training only the teacher brought actually a lot of what can I say, there's a lot of blockage in, because the head teacher could not understand why this teacher is asking maybe for support in terms of internet connectivity in school or more computers there. Why an English teacher wants to use a computer lab. The head teacher could not understand that. The curriculum support officer could not understand. Yet, this is something that is there still in the CBC curriculum. So we had to do a lot of training, buy-in meetings with them for them to be able to understand that. So it took like a whole year for us to have back and forth. But after that, they also assisted us to be able to now make better communication to even the other counties. Like I can say Taita Taveta and Nakuru County were the easiest county now to start with, because we had a lot of learnings from Mombasa. So Mombasa was generally just a guinea pig county, but right now we are doing well, and we have actually restructured a lot of things to work.
Okay. And how would you say this would change the education system?
This is going actually to put us in the map, and especially because of the natural aspect of just how curious Kenyans are. Already, even without all this, Kenya is among the top countries in Africa. Actually, Kenya, South Africa, and Nigeria, when you talk about technology. And Kenya is leading in so many things to do with especially software. And and electronic money transfer globally, we are the leading. So this just aligns Kenyans to be able to be competitive enough in future. And when you're talking about being competitive enough, is because right now a learner in Kazandani that is not competing another learner in Likoni or in Nairobi or Taita or Nakuru, they're competing against their counterparts who are based in UK, who are based in India, who are based in Australia and other parts of the world. So this is something that is going just to help Kenyans be able to be global in terms of accessing resources and also opportunities. And with the aggressiveness that Kenyans we are, it's going to really help us to grow also our economies. And especially if we have rightful leadership, we are going to really rule the world at some point, a point in time. Yeah.
Okay. And I think lastly on that one, I just want to know the grade. Which grade is this being implemented? Is it in primary school? Are we looking at secondary? ECD?
Yeah.
Where?
We have divided into 3. Primary school, junior secondary, and senior. Now, on primary school, we are starting from grade 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
And the reason why we are starting from grade 4, maybe just say, and not ECD, middle for now, is because this is a literacy program whereby we need a learner that is able to write and read.
Yeah.
By grade 4, a learner is able to write and read. But in ECD, still learners are still learning. So there's a separate program that we are trying to work out on that. But meanwhile, what we are doing is grade 4, 5, and 6. That is primary school. Then grade 7, 8, and 9. That is JSS. And then now we have the senior school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hapa kwa sababu mnashirikiana na county.
Yes.
Na najua county wao wanaangalia ECD na zile zingine TVETs.
Good.
Sasa sijui county wanaingilia wapi.
Actually, I was expecting that very well. There is education is one of the sides that is sectors that is halfly devolved, not fully devolved, whereby the national government and the county government share. So generally, the county government is mandated on their budget. I want us to quote first of all that to focus on early childhood and VTCs, vocational training colleges.
Yeah.
All right. Now, apparently, after ECD, the county is they're supposed to be hands off. All right.
Yeah.
So the county is doing the hard work of making sure a child is able to learn. Once the child is able to read and write, then the national government takes the easier work. Then it goes through. Remember, the national government is in charge of universities, in charge of the bright students. All right?
Yeah.
The ones who are not that bright, that fall within the colleges and the village polytechnics, still fall back to the county government. I don't know if you're reasoning how I'm reasoning. All right? So you realize that, but the success of this county at the end of the day depends on the bright students as much as the national government wants to take that particular control. Now, still within the in the constitution, the devolved government, the county has mandate to support economic activities and the cultures of the people that are living within that particular county. So this is among economic activities and among also development activities that also the constitution give them mandate to be able to support. Though it's not coming out from the sector of education, but in the other side, it's also an area whereby these are their citizens. When it comes to voting, these teachers are going to vote. Whenever something happens, even for example, even in health, the hospitals have already been put under the county government, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about a health of even a grade 5 or grade 6 student still is under the county. So the county government still is supposed to be able to support this person at the end of the day. It's only in education that they're not really involved in that. So that was put just also to separate the budget so that the county doesn't get a lot of budgets because of also controlling corruption to a certain extent. So we need to also look at it from that particular angle. But that is the entire framework of how the county government is coming in to support most of these learners who are still in school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You also mentioned that you are working, you are trying much kuingiliana pia na the ministry pamoja na TSC. Do you think wanaweza ku-adopt at least in the nearest future?
No, they will. The problem is prioritization of budgets, and even most of the we were having like the group of NAT, KEPSHA, the Kenya Association of Primary School Heads, Kenya Association of Secondary Heads Associations. We were having them through all this because those are associations that have come together so that they're able to also fight for the rights of the teachers, rights of the students, and the learners just in general. So we are closely working with the Minister of Education. We'll be meeting next month with the Department of Partnership, headed by Mr. Lumbasi. So the Minister of Education knows what is happening. They've given us all that permission, also Teacher Service Commission, though this is something they're supposed to be doing. And you get that within our collaboration, we are trying to ask them to also come in halfway, because if what happens the way the Trump system, the US happened to pull out in support, then will all fall. Yet this is a very sensitive area as well. So we are trying to look how we can influence the government to also try and support this so that it's more affordable to all of us and it's able to reach more teachers. Because right now we are working with only 1,000 teachers, yet we are having more than 300,000 teachers. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's actually a very good question there on the county involvement. Yeah. Your response is very politically correct as well.
Not really on political, but yeah, the thing is that is the county has mandate of its people, because these are the voters still at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it has to do everything possible to be able to support. The county has a kitty of bursary that goes still to primary school and secondary schools. So they still also have the mandate of being involved. And there's a lot of repetition in terms of leadership. The county has the head of education. The national government has the county director of that education, and also the TS has a county director. They both have also sub-county directors, and also up to zone. So there's a lot of repetition in all that, which is good and bad at the end of the day, but they usually have to work together.
Yeah, that whole breakdown just shows how there's a lot of people in this position that should actually make the education system better, yet it's flawed.
Sure.
Begs the question, do we need all of them in those positions? But anyway, a conversation for another day. Thank you so much, Paul Akwabi.
Thank you.
Thank you for making time. We've been talking about advancing computing and literacy programs, and also just looking at open AI and the implementation of VA of 16% VAT. That's where we are when it comes to technology. Good morning.